Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Good afternoon and happy Monday. First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips joining you here from the First Alert desk. I hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend. Hopefully you were able to get some time in with some family and friends, maybe do a little bit of shopping, maybe get that Christmas tree up. If you still don't have the tree in hand, don't worry. We are going to be taking a look at some of the conditions if you are going to be going to the Christmas tree farm. So if you need to even put some lights up, we'll be talking about that today. And we're also going to be keeping an eye on some snow chances that we have for tonight. But as we start out here this afternoon, we are going to see that the snow is still hanging around here from what we picked up over the weekend. With the snowy conditions, they are going to be sticking around because I really don't have a big warm up. So maybe the sun can kind of get us to, well, melt a little bit of it. But overall, what we see is kind of what we have here for a while. So if you were hoping to maybe go out and clean up some leaves, well, they're going to be stuck under the snow here for at least a little bit longer. I know a lot of our roadways have been in pretty good shape. You may run into a slick spot here or there. One thing to kind of keep in mind also is that when we do have some of those roads that are spraying, when we go during the night and have those temperatures dropping, we can have some slick spots from those. So just kind of keep an eye if something looks wet. It may not just be wet, it may be icy, it may be slippery. So just keep in mind that you don't want those little icy spots to sneak up on you. So just be cautious while you're outside. Overall impacts are very, very spotty, kind of isolated. Again, a spot here or there. But overall, you're not going to be finding too many issues while you're headed outside. We still don't have a lot of melt today because our temperatures are struggling to even make it into the 30s. We don't anticipate even seeing 30s here this afternoon. I know we're close. We're at 29 in Owasso, and 28 is a really common number here from West Branch to Midland, Bay City, Saginaw, Cairo, Flint, Lapeer, 28 in Port Hope, Harbor Beach, and Port Sanilac. So a lot of us here in mid-Michigan are just kind of hovering at that 28-degree mark. So that's where we're going to be hanging out here for much of the afternoon. If it is your day to pick up the kids, kind of getting back into the routine after school, we are still going to be finding those mid to upper 20s and the cloud cover. You can definitely tell that it's winter outside because those winter clouds are here. So we are going to continue to kind of see those in the forecast, though we do have those southwest winds that are fairly light, but at least we do have dry weather for the bus ride home and also if it's your day to pick up the kids from school. And now we are going to be talking about some snow chances tonight. We already have a little bit of lake effect, but we also have a system that we're tracking across Texas, Oklahoma, and that's going to be where we have the chance for seeing some rain and some snow come through. So that's what we are going to be watching for later on tonight. You can still see we have quite a few miles before it gets here, but I do want to zoom in because we do have, as I mentioned, that lake effect going on. And with a lot of our lakes still finding that we have some wide open waters. We do have a little thin layer of ice we could see on the river here just outside the station, but we don't really have a lot of ice just yet, so that's why the Great Lakes are wide open for business when we're talking lake effect. But you can kind of see some of that environment setting up just west of Grand Rapids, getting closer towards Muskegon, up 131. So if you are in Isabella, Clare counties, and even across our northern counties, you can be picking up on a couple of flurries. I actually want to bring up our camera in Mount Pleasant. Let's see here what the live look we have. That'll be across campus, waiting for that to load. But while we wait, again, just watching for that lake effect to be coming through. So that's going to be something that we really need to monitor in our northern counties because the snow chances that we have are definitely going to be scattered here as we go throughout our next couple of days. So let me pull that camera up here. So this is going to be the look at Mount Pleasant. So yep, we can see some of that snow. Pretty light, doesn't look to be impacting ground conditions. So we still can have a couple of spots with any of that snow coming through. Always just be cautious. Anything falling from the sky, of course, can slow you down on roadways. But really with that rate of snow not being all that intense, we look to be in pretty good shape, but still these snow showers are going to be possible. You'll see them along 127 and then kind of coming up a little bit closer into Roscommon, Ogama counties. So we will watch to see how far east those are going to come through, but scattered showers, snow showers to be possible here as we get a little bit closer towards our evening. So just something to kind of keep an eye on in the First Alert weather app, that QR code is right here, but I will bring up the full version. So if you don't have that app downloaded, make sure you get that on your phone. I don't know how you made it through the last snowstorm if you didn't have the app, so you were definitely missing out on some good information there. So make sure you have that app downloaded. It's free from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store, so you can get that. If you already have it, just make sure you're updated and running on the latest version so that you have all the tools that you want in the forecast here. But as I mentioned, we're just going to kind of keep an eye on the lake effect. So just some light snow showers is what we have, though it looks a little bit better and more widespread. Probably a good chunk of us from Elma to about Houghton Lake, and then coming in a little bit just west of West Branch, probably picking up on some of those snow showers here this afternoon, or even at least some flurries at a minimum, just like that camera that we had checked. Now we are going to be talking about our snow chances that are coming in tonight, and we'll also have a look at some of those holiday forecasts between the trees and also getting those lights on the house. So we'll be talking about that coming up after this quick 60-second break. And welcome back. I also want to say welcome to our friends on Facebook Live, as I'll admit I forgot to press go. You can definitely tell it's Monday after the holidays, so as a lot of us get back into the routine, sometimes we miss a couple of things. So definitely those Monday vibes going on here. So my apologies for that, but we thank you so much for joining us. And if you ever want to hang out at this 2 o'clock time frame in your platform that you normally join us on, if that maybe isn't just firing on all cylinders that day, don't forget we have other platforms that you can join the stream. So make sure you're always headed to WNEM.com and the TV5 News app. You can also catch us, as I mentioned, Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And then also we do have, if you're on your television, we do have Roku Fire Stick, Android and Apple TV capabilities. So if you have those apps on your television, you can just open those up and then join the live stream. That should be on the front page of the app. So there's plenty of ways to connect with us. So again, if you ever find that your normal stream is just not there, it may be a technical difficulty. It may just me be forgetting. So just know that you can join us in some of those other locations. But diving back into the forecast, because we do have some snow at hand, we are going to find that it's not the hour by hour picking up on a lot of the snow showers that are coming in from the west. So of course we'll be watching for those to continue to move in. So that's what we're picking up on now. But we're still going to continue to track those through the evening commute. So far we haven't seen too many road impacts, and I'm not anticipating road impacts for the drive home from work. So if you're just tuning in and you saw, oh, they're talking snow, just know that you have some time before that is going to even have the chance to make our roadways a little bit slippery. Our sunset tonight is right at 5 o'clock on the dot. So of course we'll be watching then once you get some of those snow to come through and we don't have that solar radiation anymore. That's when we can have temperatures, of course, dropping and then allowing for some of those slick roadways to start. So just something to keep in mind. I don't anticipate it to be a total mess outside on roadways, but very much a typical winter setup, and I know you're no stranger to it, but I just want to kind of make sure that we're clear that you still could run into some slick spots. So even as we go in towards 7 o'clock, you can see some of that lake effect still coming through just north of US 10. I am going to be monitoring that even along 127, so that's still going to be possible for us, that lake effect here through the evening. But as we get closer towards about 10, 11 o'clock, the low pressure system, it is going to stay towards our south. And here in mid-Michigan, we're only going to be picking up just a little bit of it. So it's just going to try to come here along I-69. So if you're in Owasso, Flint, Lapeer, Fenton, Grand Blanc, you are going Schwartz Creek, you're going to have the chance to see some of this snow and have a little bit better coverage than maybe folks into the Tri-Cities or the Thumb. But we see that northern edge of the system kind of coming in towards the vehicle city, and then that's going to just kind of be hovering there as we go through the middle of the night. I have the timestamp here at 3 a.m., so that's where we're still going to be seeing some of these scattered snow showers. Now, it's not widespread blue across the map, so not like what we were working with Saturday night, but we are still going to be seeing that yet a light snow is going to be coming through, and we do anticipate seeing some accumulations. It's cold enough to where that snow is going to start to stick. By 7 a.m., a lot of it tries to fade away. That low pressure system's pushing out. So then much of our Tuesday is pretty quiet. Of course, you can still have a lingering flurry. And I really like to see that the hour by hour is breaking up some of those clouds. So I'm hoping for some sun. I just get really nervous about that though here this season. Though the weather data says, oh yeah, we're in good shape to see some sun. I've seen that forecast burn so many times. So I just know here during the winter season, it's easier to forecast cloud cover because it's easier for us to make clouds, especially with the lakes being wide open for business here. Going into Wednesday morning, we have that cloud cover kind of building in, and throughout the day on Wednesday, we will be looking at some scattered snow showers. I have seen some of this coverage coming in from the northwest to be a little bit broken, and that is still holding, but I've also been finding that as this boundary comes through, that it might be a little bit later towards the afternoon. So right now, I am just going to keep it all day Wednesday, but we may be able to kind of fine tune that here when we get that short-term resolution data to where that might be a little bit closer towards the afternoon for a start time. So just know that that possibility is out there, though we're not leaning into that just yet in the forecast. So plan throughout the day on Wednesday for you to be seeing some scattered snow showers. I know there's a lot to remember from all of this. So when you do look at the snow chances, just know kind of today, though we don't have that pop there, we do still have some of those flurries and then some of that night snow chance that's going to be coming in. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we have those snow showers going into tomorrow morning, and then Wednesday, some scattered snow showers. And then going even in towards Thursday night, Friday, some of our night chances, we still have some snow. So though we don't have percentages in on all of these days, it's still an active pattern. And with that cold air in place, all it takes is a little push of energy and the Great Lakes being open for us to be seeing some snow in the forecast. So it's not necessarily an active week when we're talking big snows, but we have the chance for just some snow here or there. So picking up on a snow shower and then having a little bit of a break, and then picking up on another chance for flurries and then picking up on a break. So there's a lot of back and forth in this forecast. So kind of stay on your toes here to be able to maintain and kind of stay ahead of the wintry weather. So this is the part that you've all wanted to see. This is going to be our snow totals. You are going to find those to be a little bit heavier in our northern counties. So we're looking there about an inch, inch and a half to be possible. This is all based on lake effect. And also we'll be watching to see kind of these accumulations get a little more traction going around the 5 o'clock hour, because that's when that sun will set. So then it allows that snow to stick a little bit better. So we are going to be looking at an additional on top of what we have already, because of course what we already had on the ground no longer counts. So when we're looking at fresh snow, we're going to be looking at about an inch, inch and a half. And then we're also going to be watching close towards I-69. You can see Flint we have there at about an inch, and then about 0.7 in Lapeer, and then a half inch in Owasso. So I'm still anticipating along I-69 coming in about an inch, or excuse me, a half inch to an inch. So I know that that's very much manageable, and I know that you're thinking, Diane, that's not a lot of snow. And yeah, it's not. We're all pros after this weekend driving in it. But even the lightest of snow can make our roadways a little bit slippery. Also, temperatures tonight are going to be cooling down. Let me bring these lows up. So when we find that our lows are going to be dropping back, of course, into the teens, this is when we have crews that are salting, the salt is no longer really going to be all that effective. It's not going to be able to go and melt away all the snow. It's only going to be able to melt away a little bit of snow. So just keep in mind, with temperatures falling tonight into the mid to upper teens and a little bit of snow, that even though it's not a lot, I do anticipate some of our roadways tomorrow to be a little bit slower. So we're first alerting you that you may need a few extra minutes to get out the door tomorrow morning, especially if you're along I-69 or if you're north of US 10. And I'm even going to be monitoring here along 127. You can see that half inch to an inch there as well. So kind of our low spots are going to be the thumb coming into the Tri-Cities, but you can still see Midland County and coming in towards Gladwin. We got a half inch to an inch there. So again, some of us may only pick up on a dusting, but about a half inch to an inch seems to be the pretty common range for a lot of us. And then we may find in some of that lake effect snow bands across Roscommon and Ogama County for an inch, inch and a half. So overall, again, I know that you're thinking, all right, I'm done with the snow. I know how to drive in it. I've knocked all the dust off and I'm ready to do this again. But I just want to remind you when you're rushing out the door tomorrow morning, I know Tuesdays are always kind of tough, that you may need a few extra minutes to make sure that you're road ready and that you can get to work safely in case road speeds are not going 70, 75. Maybe we're only going 60, 65. So just kind of keep that in mind. Of course, tomorrow morning, starting at 4:30, Matthew will also have your first alert traffic. So tune into TV5 Wake Up. You can join that stream at WNEM.com and also on the TV5 News app, and of course on our over-the-air channels. You can catch our Wake Up crew. So make sure you're joining them there. I do have another little fact on snow, because as we start December 1st, this is the beginning of meteorological winter. So when you go and hear winter outlooks, as a meteorologist, I always ask, okay, what's the time frame? Because for some people, winter starts in November, but for meteorologists, it starts December 1st. So all the snow that we picked up in November technically doesn't go towards the winter numbers. So when we do a winter outlook and you're wondering, oh, I'm hearing all the snow or no snow, or I'm hearing this or that on temperatures, you kind of got to know the timeline and the time frame for it, because that really makes a difference. So far, this is what we've kind of picked up here through October and November. You can see Saginaw has about 10.5 inches. Flint has measured about 7.7, and then Houghton Lake has over a foot of snow that we've measured so far. Of course, some of this has melted, and you'll find though that we are a bit above average for everybody, because we typically don't pick up this much snow in November. So you can see here that we are getting a little bit of a jump on the winter weather. However, on the winter season itself, we haven't seen too much snowfall for today. Maybe, of course, some of our locations in Mount Pleasant or into Houghton Lake, we might be able to add a little bit more snow. But so far, we are finding that our winter is just kind of starting out like winter. And of course, this is going to actually be registered as fall snow for what we've picked up. So even though you hear some of those, oh, we have La Nina, which is true, but when you hear potentially some of those winter outlooks, just keep in mind that timing is everything, because they might be talking November to April when we get snow, or they might just be talking December, January, and February. So it gets really complicated. That's why I always kind of want to go and sniff out those winter forecasts and see what people have to say, because that leaves a lot for interpretation, and that's not really fair to everybody trying to consume that. So I just want you to be aware that you need to just kind of be mindful of what the time span is when you see those winter outlooks, because we got to know, are they talking meteorological winter, or are they just talking about a 6-month window? Because that can make a big difference when we're talking snow. Now, we do still have some holiday graphics that I do want to talk about, but I do want to take another quick break, reset here for about 60 seconds since we're done talking about snow, and we will be right back with those holiday forecasts. All right, we are back, and we are going to be talking about some of those holiday forecasts. I'm pretty sure a lot of you already have the tree up if you're doing that, but in case you still need to go and get that Christmas tree, you are going to find today a pretty good day to do that, though it is cloudy, and we do have a couple of flurries for a few of us. Overall, we are going to give you 3 green trees to go and get that Christmas tree chopped. So if you're going to be doing that before 5 o'clock, before that sunset, so that you can get that done during the daylight, you are going to find today a pretty good day to go and do that. Now, tomorrow morning, we do have some snow showers, so that might make it a little bit tricky if you're planning in the morning to go and do that. But if you're wanting to do it after work or even before sunset on Tuesday, I'll give you 3 green trees then, because we have some better weather that's going to be kind of improving throughout the day on Tuesday. So though the morning starts out a little bit slower, we are going to see that we do make some pretty good advancements in the forecast. We're going into Wednesday. I kind of have the yellow light there, 2 yellow trees. So I don't really want to give up because some of us really do like that kind of that snow globe feeling where we have the snowflakes going, but yeah, we're picking out that perfect tree. So just know that some snow showers are going to be possible on Wednesday. It's not going to be widespread snow, but they are going to be scattered. So you might be able to get that perfect Christmas movie moment while you're picking out your tree. Another thing is also getting those holiday lights up. And we are going to see that those are going to be possible as we go through the rest of the afternoon with some 20s. So if you still are going to do a little bit of that work, but I also want to bring up this forecast for how this week looks if you are going to be doing some holiday lights, because we are going to be finding that we have some pretty good weather here for the next couple of days overall to do it. It may not be perfect, but if you have the time to do it, I guess you can get it done. So I kind of have that yellow light here rather than the orange light. So kind of if you have time, as we go, it might be, a little bit later on, only if it can't wait at this point to get the lights up. So overall, the forecast is okay to do it, but it's maybe not as nice as some of the weather that we had before. I know a lot of folks were saying during the holidays that they already put their lights up and that they just had to turn them on after Thanksgiving passed. So they took advantage of the nice weather that we had before then. Another thing that I just want folks to keep in mind in the forecast is that our temperatures for the next couple of days are going to be below average. We should typically be seeing those into the 30s. And though we have some 30s, we do have some cooler days ahead, especially Thursday. That's going to be kind of our coolest day. Afternoon temperatures only into the lower 20s. Overnight temperatures in the single digits. We'll talk about that on that 7-day forecast. But we are going to be finding that it is a little bit cooler this week. That's why the snow isn't going to be melting, and that's why we are going to be keeping yet some of these snow shower chances here through the next couple of days. So just keep that in mind. And then another reminder again tonight that temperatures are going to be falling into the teens. So as we have some of those snow showers coming through, just know that salt might not melt every snowflake away that we pick up. So just keep that in mind. As we look at that 7-day forecast, as our temperatures, high temperatures I had mentioned, going to be a little bit cooler, but even some of those overnight temps dropping into the teens. So hopefully you have those heated blankets, fuzzy socks going to make sure that you're comfortable at night, getting that beauty rest. So we want to make sure Thursday night into Friday morning you are well aware of, because we're going to be dropping into the single digits then. So that's going to be a pretty cold start Friday morning for kids at the bus stop, because a lot of kids will, of course, be back to school here after the holiday. So just know this week it's hats, gloves, coats. It's winter outside. December has come and it is giving us some seasonal weather. So it seems like we're finally on track with where we should be, even if it is a little bit cooler. But because of the cold air, again, tomorrow morning we'll have some of those snow showers. Some of those, though, picking up with flurries now, and then the scattered snow showers tonight into tomorrow morning. And then going into our Wednesday, we'll have some scattered snow showers as well. And then Thursday, Friday, we'll have mostly cloudy skies, but Friday night we're watching for another chance. We have another low pressure system coming in, so that's going to be bringing us a chance for a few snow showers going into the weekend. So we'll be monitoring that closely, but considering we still have a couple of days, we'll need to fine tune that forecast a little bit better. But again, just a quick take tonight on tonight's forecast, because we do have that snowfall chance. You're going to be seeing the flurries that we're working with now along 127 and then just north of US 10. But for the evening commute, overall 75 should be in good shape if you're traveling from Flint to Detroit. No issues there, but we will be finding that we have some of those lake effect showers that are going to continue to come across. And then during the night, closer towards bedtime, around Flint, Lapeer, Owasso, that's when we're going to start to pick up on some of those snow showers closer. So it's a little bit more widespread during the night, but with it just being on the edge, it will yet be broken a little bit. So just kind of keep that in mind, that we are going to continue to see some of those snowfall chances before that starts to wrap up going into the morning. So that's when we will I'll be looking for the potential of accumulation starting after about 5 o'clock through about noon tomorrow. You can see about a dusting for some of us, but about a ½ inch to 1.5 inches is kind of the range. A little bit further north is where we have some of those higher totals, and then right along I-69 into Flint, you can see we have 1 inch there. So just give yourself a few extra minutes in the morning. I don't anticipate major slowdowns, but of course even the lightest bit of snow can make our roads feel a little bit slimy under those car tires, and if the salt isn't able to get that much snow melted away, it might just be a little bit of a slower start. So again, it's not going to be major slowdowns, nothing to kind of get hyped over, but still you may just need a few extra minutes to make sure that you're on time tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Of course, we'll have an update on your news at 4 o'clock today. And of course, Chris will be back here at the First Alert desk at 9 o'clock tonight. He'll be, of course, tracking the snow as it's coming in, and then also giving us an update in case we need to make any adjustments to those totals. But thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you right back here again tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.